Facebook on board. Afternoon, folks. Give me a wee minute to get Facebook on board because what I've got to say today is fucking important. Right, here we go. Good afternoon, folks. Sorry, good morning. What brings Davy to your screens today? Well, I've just been on Facebook and watched two people have an argument about how we get out the union. Now, this really pisses me off, people with short memories. Now, I'm 57 years old, folks. I know the route out this union. We all know the route out this union. And it's been clear since Victoria handed power from the Lords and herself to the Commons. Prior to Victoria handing power to the Commons from herself and the Lords, the route out of the Union was for all Scottish and all English Lords to agree that it was not working. And that almost happened in 1715 or 1713, 1715. But since the power was transferred from the Lords to the Commons, and remember, folks, there's two parliaments sitting in that building down there, no one. That's why we have the Scottish Grand Committee and the English Grand Committee. That's why David Cameron could pull the evil stunt, English Votes for English Laws. He convened the English Grand Committee. And back in 1989, Robin Cook, remember him? He convened the Scottish Grand Committee. And he updated the Claim of Right. And while doing that, he told Thatcher if she didn't fucking behave herself, he was going to lead his 79 Scottish MPs over the Burning Bridge to independence. Now, Davy hasn't got a short fucking memory. Recently, in 2022-2023, Humza Yousaf held a conference in Dundee. I was there, I was fucking upset with the people there. I was there to find out what plan we were going to take forward to get out the union. But Humza, like myself, already knew the route out of the union. Give me a majority of MPs, I'll call the Scottish Grand Committee, end the fucking story, union over. It's a truth. It's a plain truth. And people like Davy who've got a decent memory and a decent grip on history knows the fucking truth. Oh, seem to have rattled my co-presenter there, Charlie Cat. Now, you all know that what I'm saying is true. You're all old enough to remember it. The update of the Claim of Right in 1989 by Robin Cook. The convening of the Scottish Grand Committee. And Robin threatening just to walk away because he had the majority MPs. And he had control of the Scottish Parliament, which sits in Westminster, the Scottish Grand Committee. One of the biggest problems we have in this movement is people have got fucking no idea how the union works, how that Parliament down that road works. And it's not hard to find out. All you have to do is use your search engine and do a wee bit of fucking reading. Now, if you don't believe me about 1989 and the update of the Claim of Right and Robin Cook threatening to take the 79 Scottish MPs over the Burning Bridge to independence, fucking look it up. But what's interesting, when Humza in Dundee cited, give me the majority of MPs and I will walk us out that Parliament forever, they brought him down. They brought him down. Why? Why did they bring him down? Because he was right. That's the way out this fucking union. So let's make this clear. Those 59 MPs that we now have as opposed to 79, They carry our sovereignty into Westminster, where two parliaments sit. Don't believe me that two parliaments sit there? Use your bloody search engine. Find out how that place down there works. Find out about the Scottish Grand Committee, the English Grand Committee. Find out about the Grand Committee system. Find out about how the Parliament was convened when it first sat. This isn't unknown history. This is undocumented history. And you all know, because you're all of a certain age, that what I've just said is true. In 1989, Robin Cook did update the claim of right. And in 1989, Robin Cook did threaten to go across that burning bridge to independence with 79 MPs after calling the Scottish Grand Committee and making the Crown aware that that's what he was doing. End of fucking story. This isn't complicated. Humza Yousaf was brought down by the Greens and his own party prior to the 2024 election because he told us in Dundee, give me a majority of MPs and I'm out the door. Next thing we have the senior MPs in the Scottish National Party browbeat the conference into adding caveats. There is no caveat. A majority of Scottish MPs convene the Scottish Grand Committee. Fucking game over. This isn't rocket science, folks. And all of you watching this right now, who are of a certain vintage, will remember Robin Cook in 1989 and the update of the claim of right and his threat to just stand up and leave the Parliament down that road. End of union. So this isn't fucking rocket science. And Humza was right. The route out of this union is to get a majority of MPs voted into the Westminster Parliament on a ticket to dissolve the union. And the mechanism is clear and simple. Convene the Scottish Grand Committee, inform the fucking Crown, tell the Speaker on the floor of the Commons, game's a fucking bogey. This isn't rocket science. And folks, you know I'm telling the truth. You do not ask, you take. And you don't go begging a third party to do it for you. And by the way, just for interest, we could go and petition the UN if we can get a third party country to take up our case. Now, apparently Salvo and Liberation Scott have just done that. But it was done before. It was done in the 70s. By that time, we joined the European Union. And the UN said, no, you have proportionate representation in that parliament for the size of population within that state. So we were not listed for decolonisation. Things have changed a wee bit. If anything, they could claim that the UK has become more democratic because we have a sub-parliament in Edinburgh. So would the UN uphold the idea that Scotland doesn't have real representation in the UK? Would they uphold the idea that Scotland is a colony? Use your search engine. It tells you straight Scotland is not a colony. And the UK, the UN doesn't recognise Scotland as a colony. It recognises Scotland as a member of a state, a union. Now that's it. That's a Davy Short and Davy Rant. We want out this fucking union. We make the SNP put it on a ticket. A democratic event. Fucking game's a bogey. The best democratic event would be a Westminster election. Because we already know that that is the route to leave the union. Majority, SNP MPs, and out the door. How do we know that? Robin Cook of the Labour Party fucking told us in 1989. Now, you lot have a nice Saturday. Davy's nipping out to the shops. Never know, you might get a food blog. Bye for now.